today. It's a beautiful day today. Every day is a beautiful day. Another chance to get right with the Most High. Another chance to get right with your folks, your people, your kinsmen, your kinswomen. Everybody is doing well today, I hope. Yes, you read that right. You've been had. You've been had. Bad is good and good is bad. Ah, we've been had. We've been had. Bad is good and good is bad. You know, we living in a day right now where everything has been topsy-turvy, twisted upside down, left and right. In is out is in. A lot of stuff is going on right now. We see it, but it's difficult for us to make any type of interpretation on it. Time is speeding up. We all feel it. Folks who you thought was one way is really another way. Folks who you thought was another way is really a different way. It's a beautiful day today. We're gonna talk about this though. Why is everything the way it is right now? Why is bad being perceived as good and good being perceived as bad? Well, it has to do with one special word. One special word starts with a D. It's a D word. Starts with a D. That word is distraction. That word is distraction. You see, we're at the time of the end of this age where the ones who know that they're at their end, the ones who know that time is running up for them or running out for them, are doing everything in their power that they can to distract those who are on a course of enlightenment, to distract those who are on a trajectory higher than they've ever been able to perceive. It's difficult flying through the clouds. Shout out to all my pilots out there. They'll tell you if it wasn't for those monitors and that system that they have in that cockpit up there, many pilots wouldn't be able to navigate through the thicker clouds. I know those private jet and those smaller airplane pilots, they might be able to attest to what I'm saying when it comes to that. Good evening. I'm ready to listen and learn. Good evening, Queen Sister D Nice. Blessings to you and thank you for joining the live this afternoon and moving into this evening. We're getting ready to move into this Shabbat. When I think about the Shabbat, I think about it in two ways. I think about the one that we're talking about right now, where we deal with the Gregorian calendar. We deal with this calendar that was created by man. Pope Gregory was his name. And that's where we get the Gregorian calendar from. And what the popes in Rome sought to do is they sought to change the holy days of the Most High into holidays. And in changing the holy days into holidays, they were able to trick the world. And that's one way that bad was made good and good was made bad. You see, we were never asked to celebrate and worship the Most High on a Sunday. Okay? As a matter of fact, when you look at the days of the week, each day of the week is named a particular way because that day is actually giving honor and credence to a Roman deity. Okay? Saturday has to deal with Saturnalia, a high holy day or holiday in the Roman Empire. Remember that the Pope and the Catholic Church, the Vatican, is headquartered where? It's headquartered in Rome. Thursday, they changed the word or a letter in that name, so it went from Thursday to Thursday. Thursday. Does that sound familiar? Who is Thor? You've all heard of Thor before because the Marvel Universe. And each day of the week is named after a Roman deity. We've been conditioned since we were born to think a certain way, to act a certain way, to move a certain way, to behave a certain way. And all of these learned mannerisms, these learned modes of thinking, were either taught to us by our parents or parentage, who were also born into those modes of thought. This is what strengthens the matrix. This is what strengthens this dichotomy that we're living in right now. Oh, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. Yeah, I don't know how deep we're going to dive with this particular subject. One second. Hello, young man. How are you? I'm doing great too. What you got going on? Oh, I was gonna get there, but if you want to get a little exercise, how about you grab them packages and you jog back up? All right, go ahead. Yeah, see, when we out here in the countryside, so the walk from the front door to the gate, it's a long walk. Okay, so one of my boys came out here and they said, "Oh, I gotta go on and get these packages." So I said, "Okay, we going to get the package then." I was gonna get it after this live, but he said he want to get it, so he go on and get it. Boy, you skinny enough to squeeze through that thing like that? Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Feed you some more chickpeas or something. All right, run up. Oh, excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. I wasn't expecting that one. So I don't know how deep we gonna dive in this particular lesson today, but I do know I want to touch on why good is being called bad now and why bad is being called good. Um, our entire system has been flipped and inverted. Everything that we thought was right, everything that we thought was righteous, everything that we thought was upright has been tested, questioned, has been replaced with a different narrative that would throw us off and have us do the monkey thing, if I will, if I may. It's had us rethink those positive tenets of life that Big Mama and them tried to teach us when we was babies. Everything has been changed around because, whether folks believe it or not, there's something within a belief that the longer we dwell on it, it causes us to move into a certain experience. Once we have that experience, we can now be transferred and translated and transitioned out of belief into knowledge, out of what I think it might be into what I know it is. Okay. And this is very important in this day. Right now, we have been told to believe certain things. Some of us believe and some of us don't. But when we can move into knowing a thing, when we can move into the knowledge of a thing, that's actually where our power is solidified. So when we live in an age such as this, where the world as we know it, the systems of the world as we know it have reached that point, well, I like to say point of no return, but that point where we was talking about elders for a moment, when elders live this life where they start off as babies just like us and then they journey through life, they have experiences to the point where they now have been blessed with a certain level of experience to where that experience can convert into wisdom. That's why in our communities we say our elders are like libraries. And it's a sad day when an elder passes away because one of our libraries has been taken from us. This is why the scriptures tell us to honor our mother and our father, honor our elders, and to look toward them and to them to be able to part that experience that they have. They might have done something or been around something or heard something or read something that they have been able to ingest in such a way where they can deliver that thing back to us so that we can contemplate that thing. And if it was something that was erroneous, something that caused them to falter, something that caused them to be knocked down, they were able to pick themselves up. We can learn from that thing. That's why our elders are so important. We want to be able to learn from the mistakes and the victories of the past. When we learn from the mistakes of the past, we're able to reanalyze our position presently and we're able to fix it. We're able to amend it. When we learn from the victories of the past, we're able to take those victories and build upon them to be even more victorious. And so we live in a time right now where there are beings that I like to consider nefarious, beings that understand the inner workings of the time that we're in. And they're seeking to establish a stronghold on this current placement because this current placement is suitable to their existence. Oh, it's suitable to their existence. They know that their time is almost up. And because their time is almost up, they're doing whatever they can to divert our attention away from the light. The light is the truth. It's a metaphor. The light is the truth. If our attention is diverted away from the light and from the truth, what ends up happening, thank you, Queen Sister, what ends up happening is that we fall for the lie of the enemy and we are tricked out of our position. Now, what is this position? Our position is to experience this realm not from a human perspective, but from a spiritual perspective, because truth be told, we are actually spirits having a human experience. But you see, the enemy wants us to think that we are humans seeking to attain a spiritual experience, and that's where many of us fail. Many of us want to chase after the materialism that this realm has to offer and say, well, when I finally get that thing that I want, when I finally get that big house, when I finally get that my back, when I finally get to pushing and sliding in that race, when I finally get my private jet, when I finally get that big old beautiful yacht, when I finally get that big old home with the heated tiles, when I finally get the this and the that and the whoopty and the whoopty and the hoopty and the doopty and all of that, then I give my life over to spiritual things. Then I'll give my life over to a life of piousness. Then I'll give my life over to a life where I can focus on the metaphysical, the spiritual aspects of what it means to experience here, because I will have attained everything. But you see, the thing about searching after and attaining material things is that our appetites are never quenched. We never get enough. You know why? Because everything that we're chasing, that beings that we want, it's nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong with having the finer things in life. But it is something wrong with chasing after the finer things in life, not knowing who you are. It's a big difference. If I don't know who I am, and I don't know what my purpose is, and I'm chasing after that dangling carrot in front of my face, that's where the problem creeps in. What is it to gain the world? I literally just had this conversation with one of the elders in my life about 20 minutes ago. Wow, my mind is blown. Well, all praises to the Most High. So, see, this is, ooh, we. I love when these types of things happen because that shows us that we are being led by the Spirit. It also shows us that we have a greater calling on our life because we don't never know. We don't never know what the next moment in life is going to bring us. This is why this life is so precious. And when we waste it, on frivolous things, when we waste it on conversations that ain't going to build us up, that aren't going to speak life, that aren't going to add to this experience in a positive way. Yes, negativity and positivity go hand in hand, just like darkness and light. go hand in hand. There is no light without the darkness, and there is no darkness without the light. Even though darkness came first, even though darkness comes first, when we are in the wombs of our mother, we are in darkness for 9 months. So the darkness is not bad. We have to realize what purpose the darkness serves. The darkness of our mother's womb, it causes us to grow. It causes us to incubate. The darkness that was before this universe was created was an incubation. It was an incubation period. Before time existed, there was darkness. Because you got to realize time is just a measure that man has identified when we look at the stars, when we look at the sun, when we look at the moon, when we look at those things that would help us measure a point from a point. That's all that time is. But we have to realize that there was a place in the history, a place in the moment before creation took place where time did not exist because time is a creation. That's the standard of having surface interactions for most of us. We have to elevate to not allow that to continue to perpetuate. Oh, Queen, Sister, Zumba Pros. That's what I'm talking about. All praises to the Most High. You see, this is the thing that we have to realize. We will continue to be tricked out of position. We will continue to be made to think that what is good is actually bad and what is bad is actually good as long as we continue to not focus on our spiritual experience. See, this is what I was saying. I don't want to go off into a tangent, but all of these things work hand in hand, you see. If we forget that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, we will falter in this life and we will focus on the physical and humanly things. What is a rich man? To gain all of these things but lose his soul. We could gain all of these earthly material possessions, but see, the reason I brought up we have to be careful with that is because these companies, these corporations, they were created in order to continue to throw us off. You see, when I chase after that Mercedes Benz, it's the year 2022. I've been focusing, I've been grinding, I've been hustling after that new Benz truck, right? I've been grinding for it, right? And I finally get it December 30th of 2022. I finally get it at the end of the year, right? Little did I know, because I was so tunnel vision and I was focusing on that one vehicle. Little did I know that Mercedes Benz has been working to roll out the next 5 years worth of vehicles. And 2023's version of that vehicle that I've been hustling for, it's gonna be even flyer. It's gonna be even doper. It's gonna be even cleaner. But I didn't know it because I was focused on 2022. That Louis Vuitton, that new jacket, that new belt, those new red bottoms that I wanted to hustle grind for. 2022, they was beautiful in 2022. But now 2023 then came along and my next door neighbor then got the new Benz truck for 2023. And they then got the new Louis Vuitton for 2023. And they stunting and flexing on me. Now, I don't feel adequate enough. Now, all that grind, all that hustle that I put into 2022 to get what I got in 2022, now I'm being outshined by the 2023 thing. See the cycle that's perpetuating, that cycle that has now been created because now I'm not grateful and thankful for what it is I did have. Now I got to try to figure out how I'm going to stunt on my neighbor for 2023 and 2024. And this is why we have to be careful. Corporations were designed to keep us distracted, to keep us in a consumptionary. I just made that up, I think. Consumptionary. To keep us in a consuming mindset. You know, I like to quote the Most High often because this is what we are here for as Hebrew Israelite people. We weren't created to chase after the rest of the nations of the world. We were created so that we could be a light, way showers to the world. Yes, it's a never ending cycle. And if we fall for that cycle, ourselves to that cycle and don't wake up and recognize what's happening, the cycle is going like this. But see, it's only never ending for as long as this construct of time is in existence. Woo! It's only never ending for as long as the sun comes around in the east and sets in the west. But see, our scriptures tell us that one day, time will be no more. Let's get into it. Matthew chapter 22. Do I want Matthew chapter 22? No, excuse me, y'all. That's just what I turned to. I want Matthew chapter 24. I want Matthew chapter 24. We're going to be reading the words of Yahshua. Yahshua HaMashiach is the one today known by many as Jesus. Except Jesus is not Yahshua HaMashiach. We have to understand what's going on right now. Before I get into this and we talk about Yahshua and we talk about Jesus, Jesus is a transliteration. That name is a transliteration of Jesus. Remember, I started this live stream talking about the days of the week, and I started talking about how these days of the week weren't always like that with our ancestry. I started talking about the Gregorian version of the Shabbat. The Gregorian calendar of the Shabbat would suggest that every Friday on this 7-day calendar week, from Friday evening to Saturday evening, is the day of the Shabbat, right? But this is the trick. Our Hebrew Israelite ancestors did not have a calendar named after a man. Our Hebrew Israelite ancestors and ancestresses used what man's hands could not touch or manipulate. You know what that is? That is the sun and the moon and the sky. Our Hebrew ancestors and ancestresses were very adept at using the creation of the Most High. But see, we live in a day right now where the creation of the Most High has been called bad and evil. We live right now where the creation of the Most High cannot be patented and trademarked by the wicked people who are running the face of this earth, and they know this. So what they do is they create an artificial experience. AI this and AI that, and genetic alterations, GMO this and GMO that, because they cannot patent what the Most High has created. Our ancestors and ancestresses were able to look at the phases of the moon, our great women of the past. You see, it was a woman, African woman, who identified the phases of the moon in correlation with her menstrual cycle, her menses. Okay? This is why our women are able to rock with the moon in such a way where as that moon changes phases, the woman's womb also begins to go through changes. And if you ask me, it was a woman, an African woman, who first identified the correlation between the moon cycle and her menses cycle. The word Monday comes from moon day, just as well as the word Sunday comes from sun. Okay? But we weren't always acknowledging the Most High on a Sunday, just like we weren't always, let's see, ordained for greatness. Yep, yes, we call it our moon cycle, menstrual cycle of moon phases. That's very, very right. And thank you for confirming that, Queen Sister Awakened Goddess. Brother ordained for greatness for chiming in. Blessings to you, family. I hope that your ministry is continuing to move forward. I hope that you are finding strength, you are retaining that strength, and you are being led in such a way where you do not give up. Okay. Very good. We need you, brother. Keep on going. So our ancestors and ancestresses was able to look at the moon cycle and able to see that on that first crescent, sustaining. All praises to the Most High. That first crescent was looked at as the first day of the month. 7 days from that first crescent, and that's where we would end up on our Shabbat, our day of rest. That is why the scriptures tell us a day begins from evening to evening. Because it is at the beginning of the evening that the moon begins to manifest itself in the sky. A different lesson for a different day, maybe. But all of the things that were created to be good have now been perverted into bad. Our culture, how we marry, how we raise our children, how we establish our dwelling places, how we establish our presence within the land and borders that we are to cultivate, plant seed, raise livestock and cattle. All of our practices have been changed and flipped around in order to prop up something that is not good. We know that time is a construct. We know that time is a creation as well. The name Jesus comes from Iesus. Iesus has everything to do with the Roman god Zeus. This is why that character Jesus, that name, it was transliterated from Iesus into Jesus. But the Hebrew name of the King of Kings is not Jesus, it's Yahshua. Now, if we were going to transliterate, meaning take one language, a word in one language, and not translate, but transliterate, meaning change the lettering around so that we could bring it into the language that we are speaking now. If we were to take the Hebrew Yahshua and transliterate it into the English version of that same name, it would not be Jesus. This is how we know a great deception is upon us. It would not be Jesus, it would be Joshua in the English tongue. Yahshua translates into Joshua. So why aren't we calling the King of Kings Joshua if we're using an English version of these holy scriptures? Because something has happened. What was good is now called bad, and what was bad is now called good, you see. But the King of Kings tells us that before the end of this age, the light of the truth must be gone and spread out to the four corners of the world. Every nook and cranny of this beautiful, beautiful world must receive the truth. You see, I like to say that often. We get so caught up in the day-to-day hustle and bustle of things. We get so caught up because, let's keep it 100. It's easy to see the nastiness and the perversion on this world and then blame the world itself, the earth itself, for this nastiness. But if y'all asked y'all brother True Jew, this world is beautiful. Every leaf, every grass, every grain, every bird, every tree, every rock, every piece of dust, every single creation that we can lay our eyes on, every flower, every daisy, every tulip, every pineapple, every orange, every apple, you name it. Every frog, every goat, every lamb, every cow, every bull. This place is beautiful. Unfortunately, it's been given into the hand of the wicked one. This world is being ran by the devil, by Hashatan, the adversary and enemy to the Most High. Queen Sister Carly, thank you for joining us. Oh, we getting warmed up now. We getting heated up now. All praise to the Most High. We getting heated up. This place is so beautiful. If we get caught up in the distractions of this place as given to us and as presented to us by the enemy of the Most High, we will give up. We will give in. We will fold. We will forget to stand strong in the face of adversity. We will forget who the adversary is, and we will erroneously take this blessing and this gift of the experience that we have been given in this human avatar, in this temple, in this house, in this tent, in this body. We will use it for the enemy's sake. And many of us don't realize what we are doing. The Most High granted Hashatan, the devil, ruling over this earth as a great testing, not only for the children of the Most High, but also for the Gentiles of the world who one day will seek to cleave onto us in order to be transposed into that new kingdom to come. This is a great test. This is a great test. This is something that I like to call the divine refinement process. Being tried in the furnace of affliction. Are you copper? Are you brass? Are you silver? Are you gold? I like to think that you are gold. I like to think that you are gold that is being tried in the furnace of affliction. That when it appears that you will melt, that is when you find your strength. It is at that exact moment that you find your strength. And you pass all of that testing. You pass all of those trials. You pass all of that persecution because you have been made to realize that you are not this body that you see in the mirror every day. You hop into that when we talked about Mercedes and Range Rover and Wraith and all these vehicles, right? See, this is the wicked one's attempt at creating a vessel in a body. Oh, snap. Are y'all hearing me? These high-powered vehicles, these Ferraris, these Lamborghinis, these million-dollar, quarter-million-dollar vehicles that the enemy likes to put in our face to distract us. This is the enemy's attempt at creating a vessel in a vehicle that would throw your mind off from who you truly are. There is no vessel or vehicle on the face of this earth like the Hebrew Israelite body. Oh my goodness gracious. You see that vehicle you walking around in? Fly melanated vehicle. That beautiful, that handsome vessel that you have been told is nothing. That vessel that they identified as being the body of the saints and spirit of the Most High on this earth, that they put in shackles and chains, that they put onto that vessel called a boat and they shipped it all over the world. That same vessel that they had standing on that auction block. That same vessel that they created the stock and bonds for, Wall Street for. That same vessel that they would bid on in the auction places. So get that Negro out of here. That same vessel that they breeded every single day and then have that baby born, that new vessel born that they ripped from their mama's breast. Sold to massa over there at that plantation round the way. That same vessel that they still have written into their constitutions as 3/5 of a man and woman. That same vessel that they have still identified as being worthy for enslavement. Yep, that's the true vessel of the Most High. You see, the wicked one would like us to not focus on these earthly vessels and see the value and worth of them because you see, just like a millionaire or a billionaire wouldn't feel right riding a whatever, a Honda, whatever. Oh, a Honda is a great vehicle, as a matter of fact. But a billionaire might not feel like he should ride that or that she should ride that and wants to focus on Ferrari or a Lamborghini or something like that. But they have realized that they are not in the vessel that they should necessarily be in. Their vessel doesn't feel good enough for them. I'm talking about this. So they need something that is man made, enemy made to feel good about themselves. And in order to throw you off and to make that bad thing appear good, they're going to inundate you with all sorts of propaganda. They're going to inundate you with all sort of commercials and media so that you can be thrown off from who you are and get to chasing after what they need to make themselves feel good. But it's a form of jealousy because they look at you and your body and they wish that they could have what you have. The Gentiles of the world have always wished that they could have what you have, because the Most High chose you out of all the nations on the earth, out of every nation on the earth, to be his set apart and special people. Yes, distractions, Queen Sister Awakened Goddess. Yahshua tells us in Matthew chapter 24, verse 1, and Yahshua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. Yahshua said unto them, See, do you not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Then he began to give his disciples signs of a coming apocalyptic time, when the end of this age would be manifest, and we would be able to tell and rightly divide times from times in order to see where we are in what is called the dispensation of time. There were some signs that would be prophesied to come before us, and those of us whose eyes were awake, whose ears were open, whose minds were conscious of these signs, we would be able to cry aloud. We would be able to raise our voice as a trumpet. We'd be able to speak boldly, courageously, help wake up our people and the people of the world who were still in a deep slumber. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of your coming and of the end of the world? And Yahshua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. The very first thing that he said after they asked this question. Take heed that no man deceive you. How can we make sure that no man deceives us, family? On that day of judgment, each one of us will be accountable. Mama's not going to be accountable for my actions. Papa's not going to be accountable for my actions. Big Mama, Big Papa is not going to be accountable for my actions. Bishop Bullwinkle is not going to be accountable for my actions. Sister D Nice is not going to be accountable for my actions. Sister Awakened Goddess is not going to be accountable for my actions. Sister Zumba Pros is not going to be accountable for my actions. Sister Queen Carly is not going to be accountable for my actions. Brother Ordained for Greatness is not going to be accountable for my actions. A shout out to all of my family that's joining the live stream. Brother True Jew is going to be accountable for Brother True Jew's actions. And when I stand before the Most High on that great day of judgment, all of my life flashes before me and in front of all of the people, all of the saints that are in line waiting to be judged as well. I will have to be held accountable to myself in front of the Most High. I would rather hold myself accountable while I still am experiencing in this physical realm than holding myself accountable in the spiritual realm. You see, take heed that no man deceive you by doing the work, by doing the due diligence that it takes to enlighten yourself to the truth. It is good and great for us to be able to have conversation like this, for us to be able to extrapolate the word of truth, for us to be able to dissect the word of truth. But at the beginning and end of each day, it is up to each and every one of us to identify the truth and to stand on the truth. You see, we live in an era right now where many of the shepherds, so-called shepherds of the Most High, have deceived the flock and people of the Most High. All of these so-called mega church pastors and all of these pork chop eating preachers and all of these individuals who want to exploit the people of the Most High. We read in the book of Jeremiah chapter 24. Excuse me. We read in the book of Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Most High. Therefore, thus saith the Most High God of Israel against the pastors that feed my people. You have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, saith the Most High. How did the pastors and preachers scatter the flock of the Most High? Well, we know when we getting lied to. Sometimes we know, sometimes we don't actually. Due to a continual push of misinformation, purposeful misinformation, a purposeful twisting of the truth in order to exploit the congregations that are being taught or not being taught. We have people that are elevating themselves over us, tickling our ears, whispering sweet nothings to us, telling us what they think we want to hear in order to keep those pews filled up, in order to keep those tithes flowing in, that money coming in, instead of telling the truth. That uncomfortable and harsh truth. I like to say the truth hurts only for a minute, but the lies last into eternity. As a people, we have to be able to confront truth. We have to be able to identify truth. And this is why Yahshua told us, let no man deceive you. But every single day, we are being deceived by man who seek frivolous gain. We are being deceived by those who seek to elevate themselves over us, who seek to attain the riches of this world, the riches of this realm. The Most High tells us that, and I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries where I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. And I will set up shepherds over them which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith the Most High. You see, as Hebrew Israelite people, we've been scattered to the four corners of the world. We were scattered to the four corners of the world and placed in bondage and placed in the places of these present captivities because we went against the law, statutes, and commands given to us and decreed to us by the Most High. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. That's why we were the only people on the face of this earth to experience the shackle slavery that our people went through, and we survived every single shackle, every single link on that chain, every single ripping away from our families, from our mamas, from our papas, every single trade, every single auction block. Yes, many of us did succumb to those horrendous experiences, but we were not utterly destroyed. Just as the Most High said, we would not be utterly destroyed. We were caused to be awakened and riled up. And in this present day 2022, those of us who have been awakened are now being called to be a little jealous at what we see. We see other people on the face of this earth calling themselves us. We see other people who have taken our place temporarily and have fooled the world into thinking that they are us. The time is upon us where the truth is being truly dispensated to the four corners of the world, and all peoples of the earth are waking up to who we truly are. And when the last soul is born into this realm, when that last soul, if you ask me, I think the last soul born into this realm will be a Hebrew Israelite baby boy or baby girl. And that Hebrew Israelite baby boy or baby girl will be born into a family who is well aware of who we are. They will be born into a family of truth. The papa will know that he is a Hebrew Israelite man. The mama will know that she is a Hebrew Israelite woman. Each and every one of that little baby's siblings will know that they are Hebrew Israelite children. And then we will hear that last great trumpet sound. And we will be able to look to the east and we will see Yahshua crack that sky open, phase into this this realm, and we will see him accompanied by the hundreds of millions of chariots in the sky. And we will see the nations of the world who have conspired with Satan joining forces, and we will see them manning the battleships. We will see them running to the jet fighters. We will see them on television telling us that we have to pick up our arms and fight against this so-called alien threat that has manifested in the sky. But us people of Israel know better than that. And we know that that final battle of Armageddon is here now. And now, as men of Israel especially, we will be able to join the fight, not against the King of Kings, but with Yahshua and the angels. And that's going to be a great and magnificent day. But before that day comes, we must not be deceived. Yahshua goes on to say in Matthew chapter 24, verse 5, "For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, I am Christos, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you not be troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places." Last night I did a meeting on the Wisdom app, and I spoke on the deep underground military bases that are being constructed today, day and night, all over the world. These deep underground military bases, also known as DUMBs, are being constructed. And they're being constructed for the elite of this world, the celebrity elite of this world, as well as the political elite of this world, as well as the corporate elite of this world. Because each of those individuals have sold their soul to Satan, to the wicked one. And they have believed the lie that they will be able to win and be victorious at that battle of Armageddon, you see. The reason Yahshua said, "Be not dismayed," and we will hear wars and rumors of wars, and nations will rise up against nations, because that is part of the plan. That is part of the leverage that Satan will use to continue to distract us in this day. Because in reality, what we see on the surface of the world's governments is not the truth. In reality, they all operate what's called the shadow government. And each of these nations that appear to be going against one another, oh no, that is just part of the distraction. In reality, they are in cahoots. I like to look at this world stage as just that, a stage. I like to look at the world stage as one big, humongous WWF, WWE, World Wrestling Federation, World Wrestling Entertainment, Monday Night Raw event. Satan is one kind of Vince McMahon, if you will. And there's a narrative that's created on the surface of this earth to get the citizens and the people of this earth thrown off from what's really going on. You see, if Satan can deceive us and if Satan can trick us and dupe us out of position, then Satan will have effectually done what it was supposed to do in order to retrieve souls into him. And it's a sad, sad occurrence when that happens. That's why we have to do our best and not be deceived in this day, because we want our souls, that unique thing that makes us, that personality that is charged and fueled by the eternal breath and spirit of the Most High. We want to make sure that that soul is on the right side of the fence. We want to make sure that we use this time in servitude to the Most High, so that we might be counted worthy to be transposed from this kingdom into the kingdom of righteousness, that new kingdom to come. So we hear about all these wars and rumors of wars because the generals and the military officials who are also in league with Satan are doing their best to prime this country and this world for something great to come. You see, if we can be inundated with the lie that there's nation against nation, if we can see China against America and Russia against Ukraine and all of these different fights and Iran and Iraq against the United States, then when that sky cracks open and Yahshua returns and we finally realize why all of these so-called UFOs are in the sky. These are chariots of the Most High. When we finally see that there is a presence of supernatural abilities among us, then that's when Satan will have all the nations of the world stop the funk, have all the nations of the world stop that fighting and infighting, and then the nations of the world overnight will become friends. The nations of the world overnight will be buddies. And all of a sudden, the nations of the world will have a reason to come together and fight an alien threat that the world has never seen before. The reason that that's going to happen is that is Satan's last attempt to collect as many souls as he can. Whoever joins forces with the nations of the world and joins forces with Satan is going to be utterly destroyed and consumed in fire. This is what the Battle of Armageddon is all about. Well, all the nations of the world will be gathered into the valley of Jehoshaphat. There, the Most High will plead with the nations of the world. And that pleading is going to come in the form of fierce battle and utter destruction. Because prophecy tells us that these nations are going to do everything that they can to fight tooth and nail against the Most High. Because they have believed a lie. They believe that the technology, the Elon Musk Tesla this and the Bill Gates computer chips in this, the IBM quantum computing and all of these things, the cloning, the deep underground military bases, the global seed votes, the trillions and trillions of dollars that they have gathered into their coffers. They are trusting in mammon. They are trusting in the devil. And they think that they will be able to combat against the Most High. This is why they have been so dastardly to the children and people of the Most High. But we know if we rightly dissect this word of truth and we look at it with our eyes open and our ears attuned to what is truly going on, we know that it's only a short while that we will have to continue to endure this time. It's not a time to give up or give in. You see, I like to say we will not give up. We will not give in. We were born champions. We was made to win. And because we were made to win, that also means that we were made to be awakened and not have to believe the lie any longer. But once you are woken up into the truth, you have a job to do. You have a service to the children of the Most High. You have a service to the people of the world. Wicked no take no day off, so why should I? In the famous words of Bob Marley. So we were called to do something great, greater than we'd ever thought. And this era, this age is nothing to be afraid of. This is such a blessing for us to be able to be moved to this place right now where we can see how everything is playing out before us. Oh, what a blessed time this is. Yahshua goes on to say that all of these diverse earthquakes, or these earthquakes in diverse places, are only the beginning of sorrows. You see, these earthquakes are happening right now because of all the drilling that's going on underground to create and construct these deep underground military bases that the devilish elite plan on running into when this great and terrible day of the Most High takes place. Revelation chapter 6. Revelation chapter 6 tells us that the kings and princes of the earth will seek to hide in these places. Revelation chapter 6, verse 15 tells us, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman. These bondmen will be those servants of the wicked one. These bondmen in question in this verse are talking about all of the servants of the Elon Musks and the Jeff Bezos and the Bill Gates, who might have gotten a chance to go down into the deep underground military bases to serve them, because you know the elite are always wanting to have somebody to serve them. Even underground, the elite will not be working for themselves. They need workers and they need employees. And those employees and workers are going to feel blessed to be able to hide underground with the elite. Oh, yeah, the game is thick. But do not be deceived. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. The great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Well, I'll tell you who will be able to stand. The saints of the Most High will be able to stand in that day, because the saints of the Most High have done the preparation and have prepared the people of the Most High for that great and terrible day. It'll be the people who do not know the truth about Yahshua, who see that melanated so-called black man coming from the sky with his locks, who see that copper-colored man, that bronze-colored man coming from the sky on all of this high spiritual supernatural technology that the scientists of this world have called UFOs, knowing very well that these light ships and these chariots and these flying vehicles are being operated by men and women who look like you and I, who have locks, who have beard locks like mine, who have locks on their head, who have the skin of melanin. It's going to shake up the world. It's going to shake up the world, because we have been told that, oh, these are little green men flying in these so-called chariots. These are little blonde-haired, blue-eyed beings flying around in these chariots. But when the world sees that the people getting off of these chariots look like you and I, the very people who they've enslaved in the four corners of the world, the very people who they've oppressed, the very people who they've held captive, the very people who they've considered to be three-fifths of a human, that's when they're going to see the truth, and their hearts will fail in their chests because of it. Many people will faint and not wake up because they have believed the lie. And when they realize that they have treated the people of the Most High so nastily and so horribly, and when they see the people on them chariots coming off looking like you and I, and them chariot doors open up, and the King of Kings comes down on that chariot ship, and they see him finally, and they realize that he's not no straight horse-haired, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, hippie-looking dude. Oh, that's going to cause many people to die where they stand. And it's going to cause the rest of the nations of the world to finally join forces and to try to fight and destroy him. But it's not going to happen. The earthquakes are because all of these drillings are taking place underground. But these are just the beginning of sorrows. Verse 9, then they shall deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you. And you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. You know why we'll be hated? Because we are no longer using the name Jesus. Yahshua HaMashiach is the namesake that we will be hated for. Try going into a Christian church and saying that they are wrong for calling the King of Kings Jesus, and they will immediately hate you. Yes, what a sight to see when the Most High returns. This is why it's important for the men of Israel and for the prophetesses of Israel, the daughters of Zion, to receive this truth and to dispensate this truth to your circles, to those who would give you ear to hear, and those who would give you window of opportunity to share this truth. This is why Isaiah chapter 58 tells us, cry loud, raise our voice like a trumpet, spare not. Isaiah chapter 58 verse 1 tells us, cry loud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins. The reason we must show our people our transgression, The reason we need to stop pointing our finger at the oppressor real quick and realize that when we point our finger at anybody or anything, three fingers are pointing back at us. We must hold ourselves accountable. The reason we were spread across the four corners of the world. We must hold ourselves accountable. Recognize that it was our own doing that caused us to transgress against the laws, statutes, and commands of the Most High. This is very crucial, my family. We must take accountability. We must mentally mature. We must stop the placing our heads into the sands. We not no ostriches. We must stop sweeping all of our inconsistencies and all of those things that we know we did erroneously under the rug. We must take accountability, and we must, with a meek and contrite heart, cry out to the Most High and seek the Most High's face and seek the forgiveness of the Most High. But remember, I talked about accountability. Remember, I mentioned accountability earlier, and I mentioned standing before the Most High. The day will come when only I will be standing before the Most High for my sake of accountability. And the same goes with you. Get your life in order today. This isn't an altar call. Well, I'm going to put my hand on your forehead and push you back, and you are saved. Saved, and you are still in the furnace of affliction. How are you saved when you are still in the place of your captivity? No, you are not saved yet, but you are chosen to be elect. And when you recognize that you are chosen to be of the elect, what I said this analogy years and years ago. All praises to the Most High, but us as so-called black folk, we know something about some layaway, don't we? Is it our responsibility to learn the word first before we share with others? Yes, it is. Because when we come into this truth, many of us, as our eyes are awakened, we have a zeal for knowledge. We'll have a zeal, an excitement, a joy to want to share what it is that we have learned and spread the good news. But how can you share what you have just learned today if you have not studied and done and conducted your due diligence in that thing to rightly arm yourself? Because we live in a time of wickedness. If y'all tuned in yesterday, we had an individual who has been joining us for some weeks now, presenting themselves as if they understood what we were talking about and what was being presented on these live streams. And just like that, that individual changed. That individual flipped on us. And we saw the true intent of that individual. And while I was talking about something else that had nothing to do with the flip of this individual, I had to immediately go into the scriptures and be able to call forth all of the scriptures that would relate in pertinence to what she was talking about. If I was new to this walk, there's no way I would have been able to discourse with her and to correct her, not allow her to overtake this live stream. And I would have just been looking at the screen like this, not knowing how to respond according to the scriptures, Torah and the Tanakh of the Most High. But because I've been on this walk 2007, 15 years, and because I was inundated with the form of Christianity we know as the Baptist Church throughout my whole life up until 2007, ever since a little boy, you see, I've been around this thing my whole life. But I didn't always know that I was a Hebrew Israelite until 2007. I was told that I was a Hebrew Israelite in 2005. That's what I was told. But I didn't wake up into that realization for myself to know for myself and to August 11th, 2007. You see. But even in August 11th, 2007, when I began to realize who I was, zeal that I had to want to spread the truth, it was gurgling up and bubbling up within me, you see. And there would be people who would give me ear to speak with them, but I wasn't as fully armed in the truth as I am today. So it is very important for us to be awakened to the truth, and then for us to do what it takes in the form of due diligence to rightly divide the truth and learn the truth for ourselves and ingest the truth. You see, we can ingest the truth in the form of milk. Milk means that we're learning those things that will get our balls rolling, get us in the door. But eventually, you're going to have to begin to ingest the meat of the thing. See, a little baby drinks milk because all of the motor skills in that baby are not fully developed yet. So that baby has to drink milk, get its motor skills right, learn how to swallow and learn how to. Plus, the baby's stomach isn't ready to digest heavier, heavier objects yet. But when it's time for the baby to eat that meat, the baby's teeth would have grown in so that the baby can chew. By the time the teeth grow in, the baby can chew and the baby knows how to swallow. And by the time the teeth grow in and the baby can chew and know how to swallow, the digestive tract will have matured enough to be able to digest all of the nutrients in that solid thing and then pass out the waste through a bowel movement. So it's very important that we take it step by step and that we have the proper tutelage in front of us to be able to learn how to rightly dissect and ingest the word of truth. This is very important. This also goes into the hierarchy of the Most High and why it's important to recognize the Most High as the head. This is why it's important for us to recognize that under the Most High, Yahshua HaMashiach has led the way and showed us how to live as humans, as spirits having a human experience here. I don't know how I got here to your channel. I feel much truth here. I was taught a different dialogue, Christianity, but I hear all truth here. Now I have questions. Family, I thank you. I I will say this. I don't know where you were in your life at the time you were led to this channel, but I know that all things happen within the divine will and the divine timing of the Most High. And I know that all things are already ordained to take place. I don't know what page you went to, what page you went to, what page you went to lead to this one. But all praise to the Most High. Yes, I know that things are difficult. I was raised in Christianity as well, you see. I used to sit on those pews every Sunday, and I was one of those children who actually looked at the pastor like this. And pastor be looking at me, Pastor Brown be looking at me. I said, oh my goodness, he talking to me. And while he talking to me, it's a big old picture of white Jesus praying like this behind him. Oh, bless Pastor Brown's heart. My point is, we were born into this experience. We were born into this matrix, as I started this live stream earlier stating. We were born into an illusion. We were born into a lie. We were born not knowing who we were. We were born believing that we were all these bywords, Niggas, Niggers, porch monkeys, coons, coloreds, black, African Americans, Afro Americans, freedmen. You name it. They put a title on us. And every title that they put on us in some strange, ironic way was supposed to wake us up to who we truly were. But we didn't understand that all of these bywords were a sign that we were actually the people of the book. That's right. We are the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. We are the true children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We are the true and living descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel, scattered across the four corners of the world for this day right now. All praises to the Most High. It's a beautiful thing. And we're happy to have you, Queen Sister D Nice. We truly are. So we'll be hated for the namesake of Yahshua. Because the rest of the world is under the illusion that his name is Jesus. You see. So when we do our best to wake even Granny up, Granny gonna say, boy, I don't ever want to hear you say that. You see that picture on my wall? I was on the phone with my elder, then I turned on YouTube. This channel I just clicked on, just like that. All praises to the Most High. And you caught a live stream. Oh, so you just got in. All praises to the Most High. We just wrapped up the 8 days of the Feast of Tabernacles, and you're welcome to go back and look at those live streams. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. So, the point is, Granny gonna tell you you wrong. And Granny is a trusted official in our family. She is a matriarch of our family. Granny cooks so well. All of Granny's recipes be on point. That sweet potato pie and that pound cake Granny be cooking, that 7-Up cake Granny be cooking. Oh, my. Them chicken and dumplings Granny be cooking, you better not say nothing. Oh, my. That gumbo Granny be cooking. All them red beans and rice. Oh, that fried chicken and that cornbread Granny be cooking. Granny be cooking, don't she? Oh, them baby back ribs Big Papa be throwing on that grill or that sauce, that secret sauce he be slathering on that meat. Big Papa meat, he cooked that meat so good, it don't even need no sauce on it. They the ones who taught us about Jesus. And they the ones who told us, boy, I better not hear you talking about no Yahshua. I don't know Yahshua, I know Jesus. Oh, that grandson of mine, he crazy now, baby. Oh, I don't know about my grandbaby. He crazy. What happened to my grandbaby? Whole time, you've been brought into the truth. Whole time. For some reason, you clicked on a channel that was telling you something that you might have been contemplating, something that you might have heard before, but didn't really give too much credence to it. And now, for some reason, your heart has been moved in such a way that you got to just listen. You might not even agree with what is being said, but for some reason, now you have been blessed with this mind of openness to just listen and to contemplate. In my household, we were able to make our own decisions on any spiritual walk. I'm thanksgiving that nothing was pushed on us. I'm in thanksgiving that nothing was pushed on us. Oh, what a blessing. And that I'm so thankful you said that. Because what I like to do in service to the Most High, I'm not a missionary. I'm not a missionary, but I'm on a mission. I'm not somebody that's here to try to convert you into thinking any way. The same forms of information that I have at my disposal and resources are the same forms of information that I share with you today. I've learned my truth by reading the New Oxford Annotated Apocrypha. I suggest you get one. These are the books that were taken out of the modern day King James Bible. Then, this is the Bible that I read from, the original African Heritage Edition of the Bible. It is a King James version. The difference is the footnotes do not seek to throw us off from who we are. This is the only Bible that I know in existence that tells you and confirms for you that you are indeed a Hebrew Israelite. As a matter of fact, all of the characters in this Bible, they went so hard with this. Bless our elders who put this and compiled this Bible together. They went so hard, y'all. Let me show you something. They went so hard that even the illustrations of this here version of the Bible show us. I went to church with whoever went, but as I got older, I chose a church. I was 19 when I made that decision. All praises to the Most High. I'm 45 now. All praises to the Most High. I have grown children. All praises. One granddaughter. All praises. I'm willing to learn and read. So you have people who are counting on you because you are a matriarch now. You are a matriarch now. It is time for us to wake up. You're welcome. This is in the Bible that I read from. You see these gentlemen? This is what we have a depiction of John. This is a depiction of Andrew. See that? This is the African Heritage Edition. See if you can find a book. This is Miriam. Look at her. And this is baby Yahshua. You ever seen a living picture like that? Yes, ma'am. This is the New Oxford Annotated Apocrypha, New Revised Standard Version, fully revised fourth edition. I usually don't like to go with revision books, but this is an actual good copy. You can also get the Old English 1611 copy of the King James Bible with the Apocrypha included in it, but it speaks in Old English. Sometimes it is hard to decipher that Old English. Okay? But if you do your due diligence, you will see that the Apocrypha was located within the Septuagint, which is the Greek transliteration of the Hebrew scriptures. Okay? These books have been taken out because they greatly detail us as a people. And they get deeper into the prophecies, into the age that we are living in right now. Okay? I suggest you get those books. Please get those books. Yahshua goes on to tell us, and then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Yeshua told us that we would be living in a time when we knew that the end of this age would come, when brother would turn on brother, when daughter would turn on mama, and mama would turn on daughter, when son would turn on papa, and papa would turn on son, when families would be torn apart for the sake of this truth. Consider yourself blessed, Queen Sister D Nice, in the fact that you've always had an opportunity to be open minded, and that you've carried that open mindedness into your adulthood, and that for some reason you have been blessed to be able to be in the places that you need to be when you need to be in them. Side note, that's why I don't do coincidences. Everything happens for a reason. I say I'm in the right place at the right time every time, even if it don't seem like it. Where I want it to be isn't where I need to be if I'm not there. Okay? Yahshua tells us in verse 21 of Matthew 24, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, days shall be shortened. This is how we know that time itself is a construct and a creation. Time is malleable, meaning it can be bent. Time can be altered. Okay? This is very important to realize because we are living in a great, great, great moment in history right now. The reason that we see so much happening with the children of Israel on the four corners of the world is because we are now in a time known as Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble is a time that was prophesied in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, speaking on a time when the children of Israel would go through great turmoil in all of the places that we were put. Let's talk about it real quick. Jeremiah chapter 30. All praise to the Most High. We didn't know we was going to be talking about this. But let's go into Jeremiah chapter 30. Because when I saw that great tribulation Yahshua was talking about, the Spirit immediately made me think about Jacob's trouble. Jacob's trouble is a prophecy that many of us don't talk about. It's very real. I remember we entered into Jacob's trouble because as a Hebrew Israelite man, one day I woke up with this great pain in my stomach like I was giving birth or something. It was wild. Like I got food poisoned or something. Grateful and excited to find out who I truly am and who I am. I've been questioning a lot lately, last 2 years. Oh my. So Queen Sister D Nice, may I ask you a question? You see how excited I can get to deliver this truth, and you see how boldly I have to state these things, the type of authority that I'm speaking with, right? I know now that I see that this is your first time hearing me on this channel, it could kind of be like, what? This brother talking, ain't he? I have a question for you. Is this the first time you have heard that you are a Hebrew Israelite? Is this the first time that you have heard so-called black people in this country being identified as Hebrew Israelites? Being identified as the people of the book? I, I see you said yes, but I don't know if that was in pertinence to what my question was. Is this the first time where you have heard that you are a Hebrew Israelite? Yes, first time. All right, well, we're going to clap this up for Queen Sister D Nice real quick. All praises to the Most High. Wow. All right. With that being said, that wow wasn't towards you. That wow was toward the divine will of the Most High, and that wow was toward the truth itself. You know, I have this saying that truth is like an onion. The more you peel that onion back, getting toward the center and core of truth, the more tears you're going to cry. Like they say, truth is stranger than fiction. And as you journey down the proverbial rabbit hole, it's like a never-ending journey because we have been taught so many things that go against what the scriptures actually tell us. We've been taught so many lies, and we have been made to live comfortably in those lies that we rarely question what it is we've been told. So I salute you, Queen Sister, for taking a chance and learning something that you have not heard before and actually getting it. Welcome home. That is right. That is right. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Brother King Israel Judah. Queen Sister, before I get into Jacob's trouble, we're going to go to where Queen Carly just said. I think this is important for you to know who you truly are, sister. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. You need to hear this. Thank you, Queen Sister Carly. You need to hear this. Queen Sister D Nice, daughter of Zion. That is who you are. You need to hear this. For thou art an holy people unto the Most High thy God. The Most High thy God hath chosen you to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Most High did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people, for you were the fewest of all people. But because the Most High loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he hath sworn unto your fathers, hath the Most High brought you out with a mighty hand, and redeemed you out of the house of bondmen, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. understand. I, for some reason, have always known truth when I hear it. Other religions I never tried to understand, but I'm hearing a calling deeper. It's loud what I hear in my spirit. That is very good. And just like we were gathered the first time out of the house of bondage called Mitzrayim, we will be gathered a second time. We will be gathered a second time, for the four corners of the world will be been scattered, and we will be brought into the borders of the Most High. This is how you know you are a Hebrew Israelite, daughter of Zion. Oh, what a blessed day to be alive. Oh, what a blessed day to be alive. Jacob's trouble, Jeremiah chapter 30. The word that came to Jeremiah from the Most High, saying, Thus speaketh the Most High God of Israel, saying, Write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. For lo, the days come, saith the Most High, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah. We were placed into captivity. We are the only people on the face of this earth who can identify with the blessings and the curses of Deuteronomy chapter 28. We are the only people on the face of this earth who were placed into that horrible, horrendous, despicable form of slavery called chattel slavery. We were the only people on the face of this earth who were sold into slavery, who our children were made harlots, our daughters were sold for wine. We are the only people on the face of this earth who through the Trans-Arabic and through the transatlantic slave trade were dispersed and sold on the auction blocks of slavery. We are the only people who this happened to. We are the only people who have been oppressed at this level. We are the only people on the face of the earth who, after all the oppression, no country, no nation has sought to right that wrong. No country, no nation has sought to redeem us. The Most High said it must be so. When we turned our backs on the Most High, and we went against the laws, statutes, and commands given to us in the Torah, we made a great mistake. We made a great mistake. We used to have the fat of the land. We were chosen as an inheritance by the Most High out of all the nations of the world to be a light and to be way showers and to be representatives and ambassadors as well as the living children of the Most High. And we still are the Most High's children. But when we turned our backs on the Most High, oh my. Now you have the family who is going to deliver all of these blessed scriptures to you, Queen Sister D. Knight. Please look into Isaiah chapter 54, verses 5 through 8. Please read that. Thank you, Brother King, Israel, Judah. And I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. You see, the Most High is gathering us up again and will gather us up again. And the same way we were dispersed from our original lands, the same way we will be gathered again from the four corners of the world and be placed back into these lands. And these are the words that the Most High spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith the Most High, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. And ye now know, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Ask ye now, and see whether a man doth travail with child. Men don't give birth. Men do not give birth. But during the time of Jacob's trouble, a man's stomach will churn as if he's carrying a child. An Israelite man will have a great pain in his stomach, like as if he got food poison. And that's how you know we will be in the time of Jacob's trouble. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Most High of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. They shall serve the Most High their God and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. See, we are living in the time of Jacob's trouble. We will have to be moved into a time of great tribulation. But everyone who passes this testing and who is moved through the tribulation should consider themselves as the elect of the Most High. And I'm going to stand closer to this to where we can keep the light shining, because the sun has gone over the horizon and we are now in the Shabbat. Listen, everybody. What you just heard out of these holy scriptures, out of the Tanakh, out of the Torah, is exactly the reason why good has been called bad now and bad has been called good. Anything to throw our people off. It is so sad that our women have a hateful eye toward our men. It is so sad that our men have a hateful eye toward our women. It is so sad that our dear daughters of Zion feet are now touching the ground. There was a time when our dear daughters of Zion, the sole of your feet would not touch the ground. That is how special, that is how revered you were amongst our people. There was a time so precious. Yes, yes, Brother King, Israel, Judah. There was a time when our brothers were seen as the righteous and upright men that we have always been called to be. May I ask you about this dream that I've been having for 2 years? I believe you, all of you, could have some answers. You know what? Yes, you may. Please take your time in writing it. And if it's very long and you need an actual dissertation on the dream, then I ask that you email me at therealtruejew at gmail.com if the dream is too lengthy for this thread. Okay. The book of Joel tells us, let me tell you real quick what the book of Joel tells us about dreams. Okay. Let's go into the book of Joel. The book of Joel tells us in chapter 2, verse 27, and ye shall know that I am in the midst of Israel, and that I am the Most High your God, and none else. And my people shall never be ashamed. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit. And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Most High come. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Most High shall be delivered. In Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Most High hath said, and in the remnant whom the Most High shall call. Queen Sister D Nice, you having these dreams and these visions is no. I don't do coincidences, but for the sake of that word, I will say is no coincidence. So please, yes, the sun is going farther and farther into the horizon, and pretty soon this screen will be a dark screen. So if you feel that you can type up your dream in the amount of time that we have before this live stream must end for this particular stream, please do so. You are all welcome to do so. And I feel as you that we have enough family here present to read this dream and to see. For 2 years now, when I get into a deep sleep, a black man in cream colored clothes and a black woman in a beautiful yellow dress take my hand and walk on a beach. It's beautiful. That's the dream. Ah, what a beautiful dream indeed. The first thing that I could think about is the day after the judgment, when all of us will be singing in white. You see, many of us believe that Yahshua is coming back to make peace. Yahshua tells us he's coming back with a two-edged sword. Okay? Yeshua is coming back to make war on all of the nations of the world who have conspired with the devil to keep us in a stupor. Yeshua is coming back in white garments, but when he's done, those garments will be soaked in the blood of the nations. This is what the scriptures tell us. That scene of you walking on the beach, I feel that it is a prophetic dream. Beaches are places of calmness and serenity. The first thing I thought about was that beautiful poem, The Footprints in the Sand. When I looked down and I saw that one set of footprints, I wondered why there was only one set of footprints after all that I've been through. I've been through so much pain. I've been through so much travail. I've been through so many loops and hurdles and so many obstacles. I thought the world was against me and I thought I was alone because when I looked down, I saw one set of footprints. And that's when I heard the voice of the Most High tell me, child, you were never alone. Through all that you have been through, you saw that one set of footprints because it was I who was carrying you through. Those footprints are not your footprints walking along that beach. Those footprints are mine. And the reason you see one set of footprints is because those are not your footprints. Those are my footprints. So when you say you saw a black man in cream colored clothes and a black woman in a beautiful yellow dress, that color on those clothes to me are indicative of the clean garments, the garments of renewal, that new spiritual body that we seek to attain in the new kingdom. And although that beach might have looked like one particular place, one specific place, it's the feeling that the beach manifests within you. It's that feeling of calmness, that feeling of serenity, that feeling of paradise. And the fact that you were being comforted by two individuals, I'm going to ask because it's beautiful. Okay, when you say it's beautiful, then I also take that you felt reassured in that dream. You felt comforted in that dream. You felt that everything was at peace in that dream. You felt that everything was okay. Well, dear daughter of Zion, I think that that is a dream of prophecy. And I think that that dream is foretelling that one day you will be also transposed from this kingdom into the kingdom to come, and you have something great to look forward to. And that's another sign that's indicative of those who will meet you in that place, in that kingdom to come. You see, we've been so inundated with the whitewashing of the scriptures that we are tuned into thinking that the angels are these little white, chubby cheek beings. We're tuned into thinking that Yahshua is this white guy. Therefore, if Yahshua is white, then God, the Most High, must be white. We are tuned into thinking that everybody in the kingdom to come is going to be these white folks, not realizing that the children of Israel, us melanated brothers and sisters, scattered across the four corners of the world, are indeed the rulers of the kingdom to come with Hamashiach. And we didn't realize this. We didn't realize this. Big Mama and Big Papa are going to be ruling in the new kingdom. All of our ancestors and ancestresses that we thought were nothing, that we believed the lie about. Oh no, they're going to be raised up. And when they're raised up, they're going to be raised back into life. And that new rulership that we finally see is going to be us ruling in the kingdom to come. That's always the same dream every once in a while. But I have it, the same two people. I've only told two people about this dream. You guys and my Aunt Carolyn. I got to tell you, Mama Carolyn, if Mama Carolyn is on here right now, if Mama Carolyn is on here right now, oh wow, wow, wow. You have an Aunt Carolyn, a Mama Carolyn. She taps in with us on this live stream and on this channel frequently. So that's amazing. Oh yeah, you definitely supposed to be here, Queen Sister. Blessings to your Aunt Carolyn. And thank you for sharing. Oh, Mama Carolyn is here. You see this? Shout out to Mama Carolyn. This is something that's amazing. See, this is why I don't do coincidence. Everything is in divine timing. Everything is in accordance with what the Most High needs us to do, see, and be around. Consider all of yourselves blessed. The object and idea of today's lesson is to not be tricked out of your position and to begin to realign yourself with what is truly good. The Most High's word is what is truly good. The Most High's laws, statutes, and commands is what is truly good. Being deceived by man who has alternative motives is bad. Believing the lie that deceitful man has to deliver unto you is even worse. And falling for the whims and the horrendous actions of the devil, the time the enemy is as low as we can go. It's time to wake up. You see, it's time to wake up. It's time to be moved into the truth, and it's time to represent that truth once we have been moved into it. As men of Israel, we have a great duty before us. The work never stops. We have to figure out how to take the mantle of the Most High, wear that garment, put that hat on. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, Mama Carolyn. That's right. Someone here named Carolyn. That is right. That's what I'm telling you, Queen Sister D Nice. That's exactly what I'm telling you. So for you to shout out Aunt Carolyn, quote unquote, Aunt Carolyn is right here, right now with us. Mama Carolyn is right here, right now with us. Now, she may not be your Aunt Carolyn, but y'all sure do spell the name the same. Yes, it's time for you to know the truth. All praises to the Most High. So look, we're going to continue these lessons. You see that? Madam's account, you see? See that? All praises to the Most High. So no coincidences here at all. We're so grateful for you clicking on this live stream, Queen Sister D Nice. Yes, it is something else. It's time for you. It's time for you, daughter of Zion. It's time. The truth shall set you free. Couldn't have said it better, Brother King Israel Judah. The truth shall set you free. What a blessed time to be alive. Look, y'all, I told y'all if I let this sunlight go down any farther, you're gonna be looking at a a black screen and just hear my voice. Most High willing, we're gonna get back at this. The Shabbat is a full day. We're gonna get back at this when the sun comes back around, and we're gonna touch on things of the spirit. We're gonna continue to move in a way that's pleasing to the Most High. Thank you all for joining this live stream. Thank you all for being a part of this. Blessings to you all this evening as you study this word, as you get deeper into the truth. Queen Sister D Dice, I want you to read Deuteronomy 28 tonight. You're going to be reading briefly about blessings that the Hebrew Israelite people would attain if we followed the law, statutes, and commandments that were given to us. But you're going to read more about these curses. I want you to read Deuteronomy 28. And as you read it, I want you to envision so-called African American people. The reason I say so-called is because we are not African American. We are the true Israelites of the Bible. But I don't want to steer your thinking, you know. I want to be very careful about this. I want you to see for yourself, not because any of us can tell you what to see. I want you to see it because it was time for your eyes to be awakened. I want you to see it because it is the truth. But it's the truth dissected in the right way. I want you to read that, and I want you to read those curses placed onto a specific group of people. And I think that by the time you are done reading those particular curses placed onto those Israelite people, you will see that those curses are prophetic. and that prophecy has been fulfilled. And when you see that prophecy has been fulfilled, I want you to ask yourself, who are the only people on the face of this earth who fit those prophecies? And I have hope that you're going to come to the proper conclusion. All right, y'all. Listen, I love you to life. You notice I don't say I love you to death. Death is the ending of a thing. Life is eternal. I love you to life. Blessings of abundance, prosperity, and peace. Abundance of the truth. Prosperity in the truth. May the peace and truth set you free. Thank you so much, and you're very welcome. May you be blessed in your going. May you be blessed in your coming. May you be a blessing to those who you meet, and may those who you meet be a blessing to you. Shabbat Shalom. May goodness flow through you and may goodness flow to you all the days of your life. May you remember that you are a divine spiritual being, child of Israel, child of the Most High, having a human experience. You were blessed with the flyest and the dopest and the best avatar that has ever been created as a child of Jacob, as a child of Isaac, as a child of Abraham. For it is this avatar that was chosen to be the temple of the Most High. Dear brother and King of Kings, Yahshua HaMashiach, who is of the tribe of Judah, just like us, can attest to that. The Most High didn't put his spirit into any old body. This is why the nations of the world are so upset and jealous with us. I love this. But he chose the children of Israel. That avatar called the African American, that big and mighty, strong, record breaking body, to house himself within, because that day where we would wake up is finally going to come. And we have to be strong. We have to be ready. We have to continue to move forth in all power, all faith, and all hope, all esteem. Take the zealousness of the truth, learn the truth for yourself, and begin to teach it to your children. Begin to teach it to your brothers and your sisters of your same womb as you. Now, you must be ready to know that when you begin to teach this truth in the right way, you will become an enemy of the state. There will be many who become jealous of you and try to tell you you are crazy and you are wrong, but don't be dismayed. Yahshua tells us that a enemy of the world is a friend of him. That the world hated him first. If the world hates you, don't you mind that and just know that you are on the right path. And if the world is hating you because you are delivering the truth of the Most High, oh, you are in the greatest company ever. So look, I love y'all to life. Have a beautiful evening wherever you be in the land. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Be fed, be covered, be protected. I love you all to life. It's your brother True Jew tapping in with y'all the only way I know how. Raw, real, and uncut. Until next time, Most High Mama, Papa willing, I'll be back with another one. But until then, Shabbat Shalom. Gone.